India's cricket governing body BCCI, after toying with the idea of starting a women's version of the Indian Premier League for years, has finally decided to implement it. BCCI President Saurav Ganguly and IPL Governing Council Chairman Brijesh Patel have confirmed plans to launch a women's IPL next year, although a final decision is pending. Apart from the need to make the IPL and cricket in general more inclusive, there has been growing chorus of star India players calling for a women's IPL. They believe it will act as a launchpad for young domestic women cricketers who can gain the exposure they need as they play with overseas players. Harmanpreet Kaur, Smriti Mandhana, Deepthi Sharma and Jemima Rodriguez have argued for a women's IPL, and so has England captain Heather Knight. The BCCI has been waiting for the right moment when it makes economic sense for them to take up the project. It has been organizing exhibition games of the Women's T20 Challenge since 2018 alongside the Men's IPL. After being suspended in 2021, it is returning this year with 4 matches involving 3 teams around the men's playoffs. The 2020 edition of the Women's T20 Challenge recorded 5.34 billion minutes in viewership in India, which is a 140% increase over the previous edition. To test the waters, BCCI is likely to launch Women's IPL with 5 to 6 teams initially. So, is this the right time to start the league?
I personally feel it's the right time. Not only cricket, women's sport in India seems to be doing well, and obviously cricket is one of the top sport. I think our Indian women cricketers are quite up there to showcase their talent, and probably IPL is the best platform. The audience's expectation from IPL is always top class. If we have 6 IPL women's team, it's a minimum of 66 top class women's player available to play the IPL. That's, it's not easy. Now is the right time. We are seeing Australia doing pretty well. England doing pretty well. India is obviously doing quite well. West Indies has just played the semi-finals. South Africa is now doing pretty well. Since the time IPL has started, women's viewership of cricket has gone up. Over the years, we've seen that female contribution to overall television ratings is almost 50-50. Second, also what we've seen over the last couple of years, that a lot of female focused brands have partnered with IPL men's team to kind of talk to their audiences. I don't see any reason for women's IPL not getting that kind of traction in the market. I'm pretty certain that women's IPL will get a lot of traction, and not only from women-centric brands. I think even the brands which generally look at male audiences will also come on. Is the general sense which we are getting so far. Ultimately, I think it's all the on-ground performance of the players which will kind of dictate the audiences.
Indian women's national cricket team is rated 4th in ICC Women's ODI and T20 international rankings. While the team's campaign in ICC Women's ODI World Cup 2022 ended in disappointment, it reached the final in 2017. Shafali Verma, Smriti Mandhana and Deepthi Sharma are among top-ranked T20 players globally. Last year, 8 Indian players featured in the Women's Big Bash League in Australia, which has completed 7 seasons. Harmanpreet Kaur was named Player of the Tournament. A study by Ormax Media in 2020 found that star players drove the fan base for IPL teams like the CSK, RCB, Kings XI Punjab and Mumbai Indians. There is no doubt that some of the star Indian women cricketers can act as crowd pullers in IPL.
Not all leagues are successful, though. Of course, to start off is a very good thing. There's no question about it. But what's important is to see its success. That means, does it get audiences? Very unfortunately, women's cricket does not get that much of audience. So they have to do something. It has to be promoted. BCCI is not socially oriented. It's a commercial organization. It will naturally seek that there should be some commercial benefit to all the parties concerned. Audiences bring advertisers, and advertisers bring in the money. And without that, there is sustainability will be low. They may start it off, but sustainability will be low. Game matters, though. So you have to make the game interesting. You have to, even if you have to try a different format, slightly different format, which is faster, a little bit more pacey. But just because there are women viewers in male IPL, it's not necessary that they will translate into the same game in the women's IPL. So once you have a fan base built up, at that time you can expect it to do well. So I think that's a necessary part, and I don't think enough has been done with women cricket players yet. in order to build their fan base, to have so many women's oriented products. They want to advertise, they want to be women centric. There are women centric brands that are coming up that will definitely go for the advertising. I don't think they will in fact be the first in the line. There'll be a queue for it.
Finally, the performance of the players and teams will drive viewership. The BCCI can get some of the existing team owners to start women's franchises in order to leverage the existing fan base. Concerted efforts can bring in advertisers, audiences, and investors.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram and LinkedIn.